We expect water to flow the second we turn the tap, but a private well system operates as an invisible underground engine, one we completely ignore until it breaks down. The core of this hidden system is the submersible well pump, which works tirelessly deep underground to push water to the surface. Take a look at this cutaway diagram of a submersible pump. It has a specific cooling requirement. The motor generates massive heat while running, and it relies entirely on the surrounding groundwater to absorb that energy. If the water level drops and the pump pulls air instead, that cooling system disappears. Left running dry, the motor will overheat and destroy itself in as little as 2 to 5 minutes. A highly expensive pump failure is preventable. You just have to learn to recognize the physical warning signs your house gives you before that 5-minute countdown starts. The earliest symptoms are easy to ignore. You might notice your household water pressure swinging wildly, or hear the pump turning on and off in rapid succession. This diagram illustrates exactly what is happening inside your pressure tank. A flexible barrier separates a charge of compressed air from your water supply. When that bladder is ruptured, the air chamber floods with water, forcing the pump into that rapid cycling. Sometimes the sign isn't in the hardware at all. If you find an unexplained soggy patch of grass sitting in the yard between your wellhead and the house, you have another warning. That surface water indicates a cracked underground service line. The leak bleeds water away from the home, forcing the pump to work overtime just to maintain basic pressure. Even though the water hasn't stopped completely, these Phase 1 anomalies are clear signals. The mechanical equipment is damaged and struggling under the surface. In Phase 2, the warning signs shift from mechanical to environmental. This is when your water pressure gradually fades over time, or disappears entirely during heavy tasks like running irrigation or doing several loads of laundry. This cross-section of the earth shows a dropping static water level. High demand or a long drought can cause the natural aquifer to recede, sinking below the pump's intake valve. Looking at this map of coastal North Carolina, we see a region where this environmental shift happens frequently. Even in areas with historically high water tables, dry summers and population booms can rapidly drain the local supply. Fading pressure confirms the state of the system. The hardware is functional, but the environment it relies on has physically receded. Phase 3 brings the final warning signs before a total breakdown. One is a distinct clicking sound near the pressure tank, though the pump never actually activates. That clicking means the electrical contacts on the pressure switch are pitted and corroded. The switch is trying to work, but it is failing to send the start signal down to the pump. The next critical signal is at your home's electrical panel. If the double pole breaker labeled for the well repeatedly trips, stop resetting it immediately. A tripping breaker indicates the motor is binding or the wiring has faulted. Each time you force the breaker back on, you send a surge of electricity into a stalled circuit, creating intense heat in your home's wiring that can lead to a fire. These electrical failures are the file signals. If left unaddressed, the system will eventually fail to start at all or force the pump into that dry run state. This brings us to the breaking point, when your faucets suddenly begin to sputter and aggressively spit air. When the tap spits air, the 5-minute countdown to a melted pump has officially begun. You must shut the power off at the breaker instantly. Once the system is securely shut down, you can use a definitive, safe diagnostic tool to find the cause. This process is called the rest test. The parameters are exact. Leave the pump completely unpowered and use 0 water for 1 to 2 hours. After the wait, restore power and open a single tap. On path A, we see the first outcome. If water flows normally, the aquifer simply ran low and naturally recharged. But on path B, if the tap is bone dry, the test confirms the hardware is dead and needs professional extraction. By recognizing these escalating signs, from a swinging pressure gauge to a sputtering tap, you become an active diagnostician. That knowledge prevents system collapse, saves thousands in emergency repairs, and protects your vital resource.